We are back in the IPL studio and I am joined by Bob from Olympifit. Bob, we're pretty privileged to have you in here because you come with a wealth and abundance of knowledge on weightlifting, don't you?
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for a long time, yeah.
How long?
Since 1972.
1972. Now tell me, at the best of your career, at the pinnacle, where were you and what were you doing?
Well, I was ranked third in the Commonwealth. I went to a few World Championships representing Australia and European Championships. We were invited to go to the European Championships, so I went.
Yeah.
Oceanic Championships.
So you've travelled the globe, weightlifting. Fiercest competitor. And where were they from? I would imagine Europe. Russia?
Yeah, at the time, Russia was the best.
Yeah. And what is your personal best?
My best ever lifts, 140 snatch and a 185 clean and jerk.
Yep.
It's in 90 kilo division.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about what is a clean and jerk and what is a snatch?
Well, most people have seen weightlifting on TV when they've got the Olympic Games.
Yes.
So, like, the snatch is one movement that you just lift straight over your head. Just got to hold it.
Yep.
Where the clean and jerk is you lift it to your chest and then you heave it over your head. That's why you can lift more.
You can lift more. That was going to be my question. Now, you've gone from this international level to now creating your own gym, promoting the sport you love.
Yeah, that's true.
And whereabouts is this gym?
At Shoalwater Shopping Centre.
Yep.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to secure some space there. The owners were very good to me and that. So I'm there now. 9 months I've been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you train a friend of mine. That's how we got in touch with each other.
Yeah, David.
Yeah, Dave. And he talks about you and says that, you know, he loves coming to your gym and feels like he's doing his best every time he goes in there. Can you tell us, how do you get the best out of the people that come in? And they, well, you start from beginners, don't you?
Yeah, what we normally do at my gym anyway, say for example,
Emma, yeah.
I teach a technique. The most important thing is teaching your technique. Mm-hmm. And from there, once I'm satisfied that the technique is good, I get a program to your needs. So we do a 10-week program, then I give you a strength test after the 10 weeks. Everything we do at the gym is documented. I manage your program. You don't walk in and go, oh, what am I going to do today? I manage everything that you've got to do. I write out the weights for you, everything, and then I supervise.
Yeah.
Okay, so if people have a goal in mind, say, like, I don't know, let's say someone's a dancer but they want to build strength, can you alter the program to suit their needs? Oh, interesting. I'm not a dancer. Yeah. I'm not a lifter either, except of children, but yeah, that's an
I was super impressed looking at your Facebook page to see the variety of people you train. Now, tell us a bit about Yvonne.
Well, Yvonne, she's 81, and she came to me because she was having problems walking, and she's had a broken back in the past, and she's had cancer, and she just wanted to sort of feel better. So I improved her posture, improved the core strength, and then 12 weeks later, from lifting the broomstick, she was picking up 40 kilos off the ground.
So she started with a broomstick and then moved to 40 kilo lifts.
12 weeks later.
12 weeks later. That's a pretty quick progression, isn't it?
81. I think that needs to be re-mentioned. 81 years old. That is phenomenal. And if you see the video, she just does it effortlessly.
But not only that, when she's finished it, her little joy, cheer at the end was like, yeehaw, I did it.
And that must be so rewarding for you to see people achieve their goals.
Yeah, like I've coached people like Yvonne to SAS soldiers. So
yes.
It's, the variety's huge.
Have you got into, lifting you see within footy clubs and things like that? Is that something that you're interested in doing, working with local clubs?
Well, I worked with East Fremantle Football Club.
Yep.
Go the Sharks.
About 4 or 5 years, yeah. And when I was there, I had guys like Josh Kennedy, Brad Dalzell.
Dean Cox, I think, was a East Freo boy as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was before my time.
Before you, yep.
Yeah. But so many that were drafted because they were so strong. There was one guy called Andrew Swallow who went to the Kangaroos, I think, I can't remember. And I remember his father coming down 6 months later and said to me, "I've got to shake your hand." And I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, my son was doing the Olympic lifting lifts, because that's what they do at AFL level." And the coaches there were just amazed at his technique and that, so...
Well done. You're teaching them right. So, beginners coming in...
Is there an age range, I wonder?
Yeah.
Well, normally around 9 years old.
Oh, okay. Oh, goodness.
From 9 years old onwards. And at that age, I just make it fun for the kids.
Yeah.
So it's not about... It's just about teaching them proper posture and starting to get their core strength moving and that.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
What are the benefits to weightlifting?
Well, you've got core strength, flexibility.
Yep. Especially in your hamstrings, I would imagine. Yep.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Because it's a total body exercise. You just, it's just unbelievable what you get out of it.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be a silly question, but when you're doing like cardio and stuff, you're sweating. Do you exert that much energy when you are lifting that you work up a sweat, or is it just
That's a good question.
Oh, good. It wasn't a stupid question. It was a good one. Thank you, Bob.
You see, we, just to give you an idea, a couple of my good weightlifters, they do say one lift of the clean and jerk. And I remember one guy years ago, he had 170 kilos on the bar, and I took his pulse, and it was about 90 before he did it. Yep. He did one lift, and it went up to 180.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
yeah.
So it
doubled.
really does
doubled.
get you moving.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you reckon you can lift, Jess?
Bottle of wine.
No. A bottle of wine, she says.
No, but it is something that interests me just because you are working towards a personal best all the time. And you've got to love that, is that every time you go in there, you are working towards a goal, aren't you?
Yes, you are. So you'll find, for example, as I said, I manage your program. Say I give you a lift, 40 kilos, for example. Then a week later, I'll give you 30 kilos. You sort of wonder, why is he dropping me down? But it's all
method to the madness. There's theory behind it.
That's right.
And I love that it's an individual thing, because I think there's, whilst team sports definitely have a value, I think in situations like this, it's really important for some children to be able to do something individually because they maybe don't fit in a team sport. And even though it's an individual thing, I'm guessing you've got people around you who are rooting for you and want you to have success.
Always, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
A part of this, I guess, you get the social benefit because there's people training around you who want you to succeed. But it also gives you that little bit of confidence as well that I can do this, especially when people are cheering you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bob, I am interested in your history. Can you tell us a little bit about competing at a world level and what it takes?
Well, back in my time, it was quite... To me, I was like thrilled and whatever, but to go against these Russians and that, and you were made to look that you just weren't any. I'm the best in Australia, but you go there, you're nothing. You know? But
what gave them the edge? Do you think?
Oh, he's going to say.
Well, there must have been something about their training routine and the way that they lived.
Look, I'll tell you a story. In 1977, I went to Bulgaria for the World Championships, and my coach spoke to a Russian coach if he could have some programs and that too, because they were the best, and he paid he paid this coach good money, you know, to get all these programs. So we went back, and the whole team started on these programs and that. And about 4 or 5 months later, I was breaking down. My back was sore, my knees. I said, Coach, I can't do this. It's just too much.
Yeah.
You can't sustain it. And everyone else was starting to break down too, so we got off it. The next year he went overseas and he saw this coach and he said, you know, what have you given me? You know, like, all my boys are breaking down. And he's looking at him and saying, did you give them the supplements?
Okay, jeez.
And he goes, what supplements? And this coach said to him, you stupid man.
Yeah.
That's what he said to him, because he says no one can lift those type of weights with any assistance. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were so naive back then.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Well, drugs in sport wasn't really something that was discussed remotely, but
not back then. You know.
No, definitely not now.
Yeah, well
now it is definitely discussed.
Yeah, it's amazing now. Like, I remember I had this young kid, started when he was 12, I think. He became the best in Australia, and I used to have a SAR come every 2 weeks to test him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
at one stage I sort of said, look, this is a bit of a harassment. He says, you just mind your own business. And I couldn't say a word, you know.
And it sucks just because he's really good at it, then there's suspicions there. Yeah.
But he would reach the level. But he trained for 6-7 years to reach that level, you see. And
yeah, that's not regular. How much of the sport is in your mind? Does that make sense? You know, like when you go to a competition and you've got these Russians, I'm sure they're
visualizing their lifts.
Yes,
you see them. It is a lot in their mind, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you actually going out there going, I can do this, I can do this, you know.
Well, I used to think, you know, like the world champion, I met him in Hungary. And I'm looking at him thinking, I'm bigger than you, you know, why can you live so much more than that?
Yeah.
But that's youth, you know.
Youth and mental game, I guess. Yeah. Bob, it's such a pleasure to have you in. I will be promoting your gym. I'm going to put your flyer on my community board.
Thank you so much.
And that's going to go everywhere around with you. Rockingham. We go to quite a few events, and I will be discussing. And you were very lucky to get a gift voucher from you for 1 month's free training. I'm looking forward to working out how we're going to give this away, because we are so lucky to have someone like you in Rockingham sharing your knowledge and experience, and hopefully training some future Olympians maybe.
Oh, maybe. I've got actually at the moment I've got a masters lifter. He's 75 years old, and he's world champion.
Oh, amazing.
That's fantastic.
We're going to have to get him in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's I think either this year or next year he's going to go for the world record in the clean and jerk.
Can't wait. Yeah. You have to keep us up to date with that.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
Like to give him,
he's really good. He's really good.
We were talking previously about what music motivates you, whether as a weightlifter you listen to music before you get out there. Was it something you did?
Yes.
Yeah. And what song did you used to listen to? And I'm sure this won't surprise people.
Eye the Tiger.
Eye the Tiger. Yeah. So we've got that coming up next. Thanks so much for joining us, Bob.